Hello everyone, Dan here, and before we get into today's video, I just want to remind everyone that any information today is based off the alpha and anything can change at any given time. With that in mind, let's get into today's video. Let's get straight into the baseline abilities, and there has only been one significant change so far, which is of course is Empower Wards. This used to reduce all magic damage taken by 30%. Sadly, you will no longer be able to benefit from this ability, bringing it in line with other tanks having no magic specific damage reduction except for prot warriors, as they still have that spell reflection. But who knows how long they will have that. Since that was the only main baseline ability that has had a significant change in BFA, let's get straight into the talents. Talon Tier 1 and 2 have had no change whatsoever as of this moment, so we will skip them for now, and head straight into Talon Tier 3. This is where we're seeing our first change with the removal of Fell Eruption and the addition of Charred Flesh. This makes whenever you use Fiery Brand, your target will also take 20% additional fire damage from your fire abilities. This is an artifact trait from Legion, and it's good to see it kept so Vengeance Demon Hunters can keep a little bit of their DPS on single target fights. Heading into the Talon Tier 4, and although we have had the same talents in Legion, these have went through a little bit of a change. So let's start with the first talent, Soul Rending. Soul Rending used to increase your leech by 50% whilst in Metamorphosis, but now it's just passively increasing your leech by 5% while increasing your leech in Metamorphosis by 25%. So it's a little bit of a buff to survivability outside of the cooldown, and a big nerf to the survivability whilst inside of the cooldown. Next we have the ability Feed the Demons. This does the exact same thing as in Legion, except instead of reducing the cooldown of demon spikes by 1 second, in Battle for Azeroth it will reduce it by 0.5 seconds. So not a big change, but still worth mentioning. And the last ability on this tier is Fracture. While yes, its effect is still the same as in Legion, some things have changed, and that is that it no longer generates 25 pain, but instead costs 30 pain. So again, not a big change, but still worth mentioning. Tier 5 talents are still exactly the same, so we are going to skip those for now and go straight to Tier 6. First, Fell Devastation hasn't changed at all as well, so we're going to skip that and head straight into Soul Bomb. Now again, this effect is pretty much the same as in Legion, but there are some minor changes to its effect and some bigger changes on how you use it. First, you can only absorb up to 3 fragments for it. Second, the Frailty buff only heals you for 10% of the damage you deal instead of 20%. Third, it now costs 30 pain to use instead of 0, and lastly, it replaces Soul Carve. And the last ability on this tier is a new one called Gluttony. This makes whenever you consume a Soul Shard, you have a chance to activate Metamorphosis for 5 seconds. This is yet another trait from the artifact weapon that tank demon hunters get to keep. Okay, heading in the last tier, we have 2 talents pretty much staying the same, but we do have one new one to talk about, which is Void Reaver. This makes your Soul Cleave leave a debuff on the target, reducing all damage they deal to you by 8% for 4 seconds. Again, another good survivability talent. So what are my end thoughts? Vengeance Demon Hunters are somewhat in a good place in Legion. They provide so good utility with their sigils, and their self-healing capabilities are nothing to laugh at either. But what it does look like in Battle for Azeroth is that they're trying to reduce the amount of self-healing that you can do to yourself and increase some of the damage reduction to compensate, especially outside of Metamorphosis. Okay guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you for watching. See ya!